You're listening to The Drew Yari Show. Drive!
What is going on, guys? Night 2 of Wrestlemania is in the books. Welcome back. It's me and Ruben. How you doing, Ruben?
Hey, Drew, what's going on? I'm doing well. Wrestlemania, 2 nights. This is night 2. What a ride. I'm glad it's over. Sorry about that.
Yeah, fine.
Get that over. Night 2 on the books. This weekend was a round wide. I'm just glad it's over. I mean, I had fun. Like, we all have fun. Just the fact that fans are back. And, yeah, like, wow. Just overall, like, everyone was anticipating this. And I'm just glad that, it's over. It's on the books, like you said. And, wow. It's a tale of 2 nights, Drew.
I mean, you're not kidding, because that was the first question I asked you. Is like, or not even. It wasn't really a question. I mean, I guess it was kind of a question, but I had said, is it fair to say that night 1 was a lot better, and you had the best answer for it, which was, the first night the matches on card weren't that interesting, but I think it was a combination of the fans, finally having live fans back. And I think the wrestlers were just invigorated to really go out there and perform. But we will cover that and more tonight. So let's get into the WrestleMania card. The first match there were no pre-shows, by the way, or pre-show match, by the way. So the first match on the card is Randy Orton versus The Fiend with Alexa Bliss in a singles match. So let's talk about the beginning of the match, or not even the match, I guess the intro. So, Bray Wyatt come out. Looks like some kind of tunnel, I guess, and he's no longer burnt. He's a new Fiend, I guess, and
reborn. He's reborn.
Reborn. Yeah, we can go with that. Alexa Bliss comes out and opens up the Jack in the Box, and it's the Fiend. And he jumps off the Jack in the Box and clotheslines Randy, who's wearing white. And go ahead, Ruben. Describe the rest of the match, Ruben.
Rest of the match, I'm sorry to say, The Fiend has amazing entrances. We know this. Bray Wyatt, when it comes to the character, the way it looks, the way things go, Bray Wyatt Fiend match, unfortunately, and it wasn't memorable. Besides the entrance, it was just a nothing match, and this felt like a Monday Night Raw match, just with crowds and theatrics, and unfortunately, who would have thought, like, match, The Fiend and Orton have their match back, and back with live fans, and he loses, and it's like at this point, who gives a fuck, right? He loses again in a weird way, and with Alexa Bliss, she distracted the Fiend.
Right, because she comes out randomly and she's wearing, I guess, a tiara, but it looks like, I guess the barbed wire crown that Jesus wore or something. I don't know, but and she's bleeding some weird black ooze. Which, okay, so I guess she's supposed to be the new Sister Abigail, but now she's against the Fiend. I don't I don't fucking know. That was stupid. That was just stupid.
Yeah,
And the crowd booed the shit out of it. They booed
yeah,
the fuck out of it, which rightly so, because it's like, if you're gonna do a dumb ankle like that, do it on Monday Night Raw, because they have plenty of dumb ankles. Don't do it on WrestleMania, especially when you have crowds back, because they didn't appreciate that shit at all. And I really didn't, because I didn't care about this match. I already said that like a billion times, but
yeah.
it was good to see the Fiend's entrance, because the Fiend has a good entrance. I'm not gonna take that away. And the crowd, was into it. They're into the entrance. Other than that, just the match was just it was I don't even know if you can call it a match. It just
It was
wasn't
the
good.
shits. It was the shits, Drew. The match was the shits. Unfortunately, um, Bray Wyatt is just an entrance. I'm a fan of Bray Wyatt, but they're not doing him any justice. Like, how many times he's lost at Mania? I think like every Mania he's been in, he's lost, and it's like at this point, I have to agree with a lot of people that like that's it. It's like he keeps losing. There's not much you can do to rehab the character. Yeah, he's reborn. He's no longer burnt, and that's cool and all. But at the end of the day, wins and losses matter. And if you keep on having him lose, it's just like, what's the point of this? What's the point of all this theatrics? And again, undead with supernatural powers, and you burned alive, but women will always cause you trouble. So that's the moral of this feud right here. Women will cause you trouble at the end of the day.
Right, Ruben, do me a favor, disconnect and connect in again, because there's I don't know if you notice it on your end, but like when you're talking, all of a sudden, like, I guess you're not muted, but it sounds like you're not talking. But I see your icon like glaring up, so I'm
Okay.
not sure if it's a connection issue, but disconnect and try connecting again.
Okay. 1 second.
Hey.
Okay. That sound.
All right, that's weird. That's happened like I think 3 times already. But yeah, I guess you're kind of right. You're kind of right, because the moral of this feud is that women will cause trouble, and
Yeah.
I don't know where this whole thing with Alexa Bliss, as I'm assuming Sister Abigail is going to go, but
Right.
I really don't care. I mean, if I didn't care already, I'm not going to care now. And where Randy Orton goes, I don't care. I'm pretty sure he doesn't either. But
No, he doesn't.
and the match was 5 minutes and 50 seconds. So let's move on to the next match, which is WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defeating Natalya and Tamina. The match was 14 minutes and 20 seconds. I mean, there are Tamina chants.
Yeah. To quote RJ, because he's not here tonight, who's paying these audience members to cheer? Because mind you, we haven't had fans in a year, but even when Tamina was on TV, when there were live fans, there wasn't that much or any cheers at all. I mean, like, now that fans were back at Mania, I guess everyone was they were treating everyone, I guess, just the fact that they're performing in front of a live crowd again. But it's at the same time, like, what has she done? Like, and like we said last night, like, why are both of them, Natalia and Tamina, why are they on televisions? Like, they lost. That's the crazy thing, is they lost. And this match right here just encapsulates that these two women being the challengers for the women's tag titles shouldn't have been in this match. And like we said last night, it should have been Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. They're the only legit tag team there. They're over. They're actually close in real life. And, they actually want this. They're thirsty for this. And the people in the back don't seem to care. And they just due to nepotism. One is Bret Hart's niece, and the other one has, Samoan heritage. So of course we're going to put them over and have them wrestle. And it's just, I didn't care about this match again. Like they need to do something. They need to break up Nia and Shayna. Shayna needs to go on her own. And this will go into, the match, the Raw Women's title match. But they need to break up Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler because she deserves so much better. But yeah, it's another nothing match, to be honest.
Right, and also let's talk about the ending. So the ending of the match was Nia Jax goes for a pin, not a pin, but a tag to Shayna, and then Natalya hits Shayna in the face, knocks her off the top rope, or not the top rope, but the apron.
Yeah.
And she puts Nia in a sharpshooter, which I'm just like, did she not see Nia go for the tag, or is she really stupid? Like, did she legit not see that, even though it was like right smack in front of her? I'm just like,
I'm
nope. I'm convinced that that Natalya is stupid.
I'm sorry to say, that wasn't a good look. Like, just you see she's being tagged in, and you still put the submission move on the person that's not legal. And a lot of people talking about that on Twitter. Like, what is she doing? Like, I don't know if that was a botch. I don't know, but it's just in hindsight, not a good look. And it just made her look dumb. And mind you, she's supposed to be the boat, the best of all time, right? So that's showing us right there that she's not the best of all time, And again, this match shouldn't have happened. Well, this match was going to happen either way, but the wrong challengers were in this match. Drew?
Yeah, it did that. It just did that thing again. By the way, where you were talking, but
there was no
video coming out. I don't know what the fuck that is, but whatever. Yeah, just again, I thought this match was longer than it should have. It was 14 minutes and 20 seconds. It could have just been 10 minutes even, or even less than that. Or it probably shouldn't even been on the card. Like you could have, what you could have done? Like, SmackDown had their WrestleMania show, or whatever you want to call it. You could have put that match on SmackDown. This could have been a SmackDown match. But, again, we're rewarding Natty for mediocrity, pretty much. For just whining, instead of giving it to people that actually earn that spot. But, I mean, I don't know, I'm kind of done with this match. I don't want to talk about it. Let's just move on.
Same.
I mean, one thing I can say is that they got the bullshit matches out of the way. So, let's get into the next match, which is Kevin Owens defeating Sami Zayn with Logan Paul in a singles match. Match was 9 minutes and 20 seconds. I enjoyed the match. I mean, I wish it was a little bit longer. You could have taken some time from the tag team match. Or, in a perfect world, if that match was never on the card, you could have made this match a little longer and just really let these two go. But with Sami Zayn, I guess with his character, they're going in a different approach where it's just like he's a character more than a wrestler.
Yeah.
Which I guess is okay because Sami can pull it off, but Sami can still go at the end of the day. And this match proved it. These two had a pretty good match, really good back and forth. I especially like that Logan Paul didn't get involved until the end, or until after the match. I'm glad he just sat his ass down to do shit.
Yeah, about that too.
He got booed, so good, so fucking good. Good, he got booed. Fuck that guy. Kevin Owens wins with a stunner, and then after the match, Logan Paul comes out and I guess turns his back on Sami Zayn and holds up Kevin Owens' arm, and Kevin Owens gives him a stunner. The whole place goes nuts. One thing I'll give Logan Paul credit for is he sold the fuck out of that stunner.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like the highlight, well, one of the highlights of the match. And again, it's crazy that you had Bad Bunny yesterday, and even though Logan Paul it was just a stunner that he sold, like it was really good. It was really good selling. Um, just the fact that we have these celebrities on and they're competent. They don't make themselves look like idiots, which I'm happy about. Like they have their roles. They filled it out. They didn't embarrass themselves. And of course, we all knew with, KO's history, he just power bombed MJ, Machine Gun Kelly off the stage on Raw. So we knew that was he was just waiting for that. He was waiting for that spot with Logan Paul after the match. So that was the icing on the cake. One of the craziest spots was the brainbuster that Sammy did to Kevin Owens. Like that was like insane. Just a lot of neck spots in this match. Like that was the story of the match. It was going for these gnarly moves, targeting the neck, and yeah, I wish this match went longer, to be honest. And he was taking time off of the previous match and put it to this match, like 5 minutes. I think this match could have benefited from having 5 extra minutes or so, just to. Because right when it was picking up, it was over.
Right, and it's a shame because these two, the last time they actually had a match I believe it was not Backlash. I think it was Payback 2016. That was a great match, and I get not every match can be the same. It's like I mentioned. I think they're focusing more on Sami Zayn as a character rather than him being a wrestler. So, yep. But yeah, it's just. We both agree that this match should have been at least 5 minutes longer. And right when it was like starting to pick up some steam, then boom, the match was over. Which you're just like, I mean, I enjoyed it, but it's like I kind of want more. I kind of wish the match lasted a little bit longer. But I mean, I can't complain. I enjoyed it. I mean, I love these two. I want to kind of see this feud continue, but doubt it. So. So before we get into the next match, we'll just talk about the segment before the match. So you had Riddle, riding in the back on a scooter, and then he runs into Great Khali, and Rob Van Dam comes out. Rob Van Dam, the WWE actually allowed him to advertise his own brand of rolling papers.
Yeah.
On a live pay-per-view, which I'm just like, Jason Solomon had the best description of it, which was, How long will it take for Peacock to edit that segment out?
Yeah, I saw that tweet too. I was like, yeah, they're definitely gonna edit that out because it doesn't go with Peacock's guidelines. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, how did Rob Van Dam convince the WWE allow him to do that? And if they didn't, how pissed off do you think Vince was? Or not even Vince, Kevin Dunn.
Yeah. Oh Jesus Christ. Yeah, but it was a cool segment, but again, it's just Riddle. It was just, it just made him corny. Back in NXT, he was that chill, corny guy, but it was all natural. That's what we loved about him, because it was all him. It was all just his personality. But now they just have him talk about donuts and bronuts and scooters and all this other stuff. And we get it. He likes to partake in the marijuana. We get it. But it's like, if it wasn't for RBD and the Great Khali of all people to make this a funny segment, I wouldn't have cared. But it was a pretty funny segment, though.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of chuckled a bit. It was just more just like, oh my god, this guy's such a goofball type of chuckle.
Yeah.
So we're heading into the next match. Riddle defending the U.S. title against Sheamus. In a really good match, actually. It was good back and forth. Sheamus, it's weird. Sheamus is having some of the best wrestling matches of his career.
Yep.
And he really brought it to Riddle, and Riddle's a good dance partner. I mean, we can say what you want about Riddle. Riddle can still go out there and at least go, and he can at least go out there and try.
Yeah.
And it was some good back and forth. Sheamus getting the win, which good for Sheamus, but one weird thing is like he still hasn't won the Intercontinental title, so he can't be I guess a Grand Slam winner, which is weird. He hasn't been Intercontinental champion. You would have thought with all the titles they put on him, they would have at least given him that, but he hasn't won it yet. So, but I like this match. I might even I'm going to be bold here. I might even say, dare I say, match of the night for me.
Yeah, because again, Sheamus has been putting on some of the best matches, and now that he's able to wrestle in front of fans, I felt like this was a nice treat for him. And I was just the ending spot was just wow. Riddle was going on the second rope, he was doing a moonsault, and Sheamus did a bro kick and hit Riddle right in midair, and he got busted open. He was bleeding, and Riddle was bleeding through his mouth, and like that visual of him laying there with blood and Sheamus holding the title, like that was like this feud is going to continue pretty much, and I like to see more of this feud, but just for the match standpoint. But this Riddle's character is like it's kind of like I'm done, but their matches are good. Riddle can put on a good show. Sheamus has been putting on some of the best matches of some time now. But yeah, it's just in terms of his character, I'm done. But I love to see more of his matches, and that spot was just gnarly. We saw blood. We got blood tonight, but we didn't get it on TakeOver.
So about that spot, do you think that was actually legit blood, or was that a capsule?
I mean, it's hard to say. It could have been a capsule, but I mean, Sheamus, like when he gives you a bro kick, like it's legit. Like he kicks you in the head, like pretty good. So I'm guessing it could be real, but you never know. It doesn't look like ketchup either. If it looked like ketchup, yeah, we'll say it definitely was a capsule, but it didn't look fake to me.
Yeah, I mean that was a sweet spot. I'm not gonna lie, and now I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna put it past him if he actually legit got kicked in the face, but yeah, good for Sheamus. Riddle was just pretty much a placeholder the way it looks, but yeah, good for Sheamus. He's been putting in the hard work and well deserved. U.S. champion for I believe it's like 2 or 3 times, but still crazy that he hasn't been Intercontinental champion.
Yeah, like you would have thought, like you said, they basically put almost every title on him, but the IC title, you would have thought like, hey, let's put this title on him, but I don't know. That's weird. Maybe he goes to SmackDown on the draft if that's going to be a thing this year, which will be. But I think he might end up going to SmackDown. I hope. And like they need to shake up this roster. We're just waiting for the inevitable bus flip because they need to.
I don't know. It seems kind of fucked up to think, but I'm waiting for a bus flip. I want one to happen so badly. And
yeah.
Whatever day that falls on, I'm covering that shit, and you will be here. You will be here with me, my friend.
Of course.
I don't even care if I'm at work. I'm gonna freaking leave work early just to fucking cover that shit. It's like I have an emergency. I have a family emergency. There was a bus accident. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I gotta leave. Bye. When that happens, that'll be glorious. That bus flip. Let's see. The match was 10 minutes and 50 seconds. I don't know if I said that already. Speaking of Intercontinental Championship, the next match, the Nigerian drum fight. quote unquote, for the Intercontinental Championship. You got the champ Big E, who came out to an entrance by Wale or Wally. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Who actually does his entrance and sang him to the ring against Apollo Crews. So, a Nigerian drum fight. This is the first time we're seeing it. So you had drums around the ring. Yep. You had kendo sticks, which I didn't know were Nigerian, but according to Julian Cannon, they actually are, but they're green. And then you had a drum, which it looked Asian to me, but that's just my opinion. So Conan, who actually follows me on Twitter, had the best way to describe this match. So a Nigerian drum fight is just a weapons match.
Yes.
Yes. There was really nothing special about the match. There was no actual people on drums hitting the drums or whatever. No, it was just a weapons match.
Yep.
Not kind of let down by this match because I was looking forward to these two, actually going. And I mean, okay, we'll get into the ending, but it's just these two I think could have actually done something, but I don't know if it was just time constraints or they were trying to move the show along, which is unfortunate, but this was just, I don't know, the match was kind of a letdown. I wasn't happy about the match. I wasn't happy about how it ended. I guess we can just jump to the ending. So Apollo goes for, what is it, like a 5-star frog splash, which is kind of funny to think about now because Joey Nichols from Wrestling Soup said he could be the the black heel, Rob Van Dam. Big E moves out of the way. Big E goes for the big ending. Right when he's going for the pin, Dabba-Kato from Raw Underground, who we apparently don't know about after we saw him 6 months ago, is now Apollo Crews' new head of security, I guess. So Apollo Crews is the Intercontinental Champion, which, I mean, we were going for him, so good for that. But I don't know. What'd you think?
Some of the spots, especially involving the steel steps, were cool. In the beginning of the match when Big E and Apollo were smacking each other with kendo sticks that I guess are Nigerian. I again didn't know, but I guess they are. So let's run with it. And yeah, it was a hard hitting match, but I felt like it could have used more time. And with this feud, this basically was a blood feud, especially if this is someone that you was cool with suddenly just snapped and dropped stairs on you, steel steps on you. You're gonna be fuming. Hold up. Yeah, you're gonna be fuming if someone and trusted and respected just snapped and was obsessed over a title, and then they snap and they just drop a pair of steps on you. And I guess they kind of burned all that up at Fastlane, which this is why we don't need all of these damn pay-per-views. I feel like this match could have blown over better. It could have went well if they would have just saved this match at Mania instead of having it at Fastlane. But of course, they just need to have their pay-per-views. It was the guinea pig for the Peacock Network. But this match could have been better if this was the first time butting heads and have them feud and along the weeks leading up to it. But it was just, it was a letdown. It could be much more, but I am glad that Apollo is the Intercontinental Champion. Now we can have Big E move on to bigger and better things. And hopefully their rematch could be better. When they, is it Extreme Rules' next pay-per-view?
It's actually Backlash.
Backlash. Apologize. Yeah, so Backlash will be the next pay-per-view. So if they have their rematch, if and when they have their rematch, they will hopefully hit it out the park. But this match, I was looking forward to this, and it was a bit of a letdown. And I love both of these guys. Just talented guys, Biggie with that energy. And yesterday he did the New Day intro for Kofi and Xavier's match last night, and I was happy. Like, I know he was like euphoric because it's been so long, especially when they broke up the New Day, all that. So I know he felt just awesome. He felt great doing that. But yeah, Dabba-Kato, people forgot. Like, again, wrestling fans have short attention spans. Jesus Christ, wrestling fans, we got to do better. Like, we got to know. But of course, watching Raw is a painful task. Of course, we will tend to forget things, but it wasn't that long ago, to be honest. It wasn't that long ago that Raw Underground was a thing. So yeah, like, I was like, oh, Dabba-Kato, okay, I could see it, and I just went back to what I was doing. But yeah, this match was kind of a letdown to me.
Yeah, the Dabba-Kato thing, as soon as I saw him, I just went, oh, that's him. And then the announcer was like, who is that? I'm like, come on. But, I guess it's interesting that Apollo, not that he has his gimmick, now he has his own bodyguard, which is, good for him, because when he first debuted the gimmick, he had those two bodyguards. And I'm thinking, okay, is that going to be like his permanent, like his permanent security team? And then they took it away, and now he's a big guy, kind of like AJ has almost. So
yeah,
I'm interested to see where this goes. As far as his character goes, they're more than likely gonna have a rematch at the next pay-per-view, which is Backlash, which is on, they said, May 16th. Other than that, I hope the next match is better than this one. But yeah, I can already call it. This is probably my least favorite match, which is unfortunate because it was a big letdown. I was looking forward to these two actually going. But alright, so let's move on to the second to last match. You have the Raw Women's Championship. You have the Women's Champion from Raw, Asuka, against Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley coming out to the band that apparently sings her song, which is, I think they're called New Year's Eve. And
yeah.
Kevin Castle apparently knows the lead singer, which is pretty cool. And
really?
Well, yeah, Kevin Castle. Kev's he works in the music industry. He books bands, club industry. So that didn't surprise me. Okay. So yeah, he put like, hey, I know her. I'm like, oh, it's cool. So Rhea coming out to a big entrance, Asuka coming out to an entrance, and did something seem off to you about the match? Because it seemed very off to me.
I'm afraid to say, yeah. Again, this goes back to what I was saying last night. Hopefully I didn't jinx it, but it just seems with these 2-night pay-per-views, like, the first night always is going to kill it, is always going to go better than the second night. Because, yeah, the matches on paper were better on the second night than the first night, but it's just that energy, and it just fell off. And it doesn't hurt to state that this feud wasn't the best built. Like, it was just abysmal. They waited way too long to bring out Rhea Ripley to challenge Asuka, because Charlotte was supposed to challenge Asuka. Even though I'm relieved because we don't need her beating, well, even though Asuka lost, but we don't need Charlotte being crowned again a champion. Like, she's good. She doesn't need a title for a long time. Like, she probably will surpass her father and Cena before the decade is over, so we don't need to worry. But at the same time, this just fell off. The build wasn't there. Like, it should have been a big fight feel, but it just didn't really feel it. It really didn't, and it sucks because these two girls are, like, amazing. And I was, again, kind of disappointed, and kind of it came out of nowhere. But I don't know. It's just like you said, something was very off with this match, and I had to agree. Like, just kind of scratching my head, like, what is going on?
Well,
Um,
you know what I think it equates to is I think these two just they don't have good chemistry together, and
yeah,
I think it could be a combination of a lot of things. Like maybe the energy just wasn't there with the crowd. Maybe that could be it. But even if, like, I don't know, I just don't think these two worked well together, and it's a shame because on paper this match should have been, even better than the main event or of night
yeah,
one. But these, I don't know, these two just it wasn't there for them. So I mean, I'm glad Rhea won, but just the match was not as good as the main event from night one.
yeah. It's like I'm sorry to say, there's nothing to top night one's women's SmackDown women's title match. I'm just sorry to say, even though both women's title feuds weren't the best built, at least out of the two, you can say Sasha and Bianca Belair had a better build. But that's not comparing much, but just on the basis, and they work well together. Sasha and Bianca Belair work well together, but in this match with Rhea and Asuka, like it was like oil and water, and it just didn't mix well. And again, a lot of things. The chemistry wasn't there. The fact that this feud was just put together with glue and scotch tape is just it was one of the reasons why it didn't felt like a big deal. And you have Rhea Ripley come out, have the band that for entrance music come out and perform. And you will think, hey, like this is a big deal, but it wasn't, and it should have been, but it wasn't. And I'm glad Rhea won, but I just, damn, I feel sorry for these two ladies because I'm a fan of Oscar,
Right.
Oscar Mark here, and Rhea Ripley, she's young as hell. Like she has her whole career ahead of her. So like, I was like, damn, like I kind of felt bad for these two women here.
I feel bad too. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have another match at the next pay per view, so and maybe the energy will be there. But yeah, the main event of last night was at least built properly. We won't say better, but it was built at least properly because Bianca won the Rumble in January, so they had 3 months or like 2.5 or 3 months to build up this match. With Rhea and Asuka, it was just Rhea coming out saying, "I challenge you," and then Asuka saying, "I accept." Like they had like 3 weeks to build up this match. So
Yeah,
to me, in my opinion, I think it just comes down to these two not having good chemistry together, which is a shame. But
yeah,
it's kind of like with Asuka and Sasha. Asuka and Sasha had what is it like 4 matches last year,
yeah.
and none of them were really that good because those two just weren't able to mesh well together, in my opinion. But
Right.
I mean, great wrestlers can't always work together. Like, not styles don't always work. There has to be like something there to make it work. But I don't know. It's just a shame because I was looking forward to this. But let's move on to the main event, which is the triple threat for the WWE Universal Championship. You got Roman Reigns, the champion, with Jey Uso and Paul Heyman against Edge and Daniel Bryan. This was actually the longest match out of both nights, 21 minutes and 40 seconds. I was pissed off because during the match I had to go to the restroom
Oh man.
because we ordered wings and the fucking wings kept coming back. I had to take a shit 3 times.
Mm.
Got the whole show, so I'm just like, fuck right now. So I missed at least like 5 minutes of action, but
Okay.
judging by what I saw in the beginning, the action started to pick up a little bit more. And this was actually a really good match. And I'm not the biggest I was gonna say Triple H triple threat fan. I'm not a fan of triple threat
Right.
matches
Right.
because they can either go really well or really sloppy. And the ones I've seen, there have been a lot of sloppy triple threat matches. And this match was actually really entertaining. Kept my interest. Daniel Bryan, they were smart to put Daniel Bryan in this match because I don't know how well this match would have gone if it was just Edge and Roman. Daniel was the glue that kept the match together. In some aspects, he was also kind of the pest because there was a lot of points where he kept, disrupting counts, and for a second you're almost like, "Fuck, Daniel," but a lot of good action. I mean, there was a nice spot with Edge, or let me backtrack a little bit. So Roman power bombs Daniel Bryan into the announce table on the steel off the steel steps, and then Edge spears Roman off the steel steps. So that was a pretty sweet spot.
Yeah, that was gnarly. That was a pretty good sequence of spots right there.
Right. And then Jey Uso, he got taken out early in the match, and then he ends up coming back later in the match, which we'll get into in a bit. There was a nice spot where Roman had Edge. For a second, you're like, okay, Edge, they're going to give it to Edge. And then you forget for a second that Daniel Bryan is outside. So he grabs ref, and that's where that came in, where I'm just like, fuck, Daniel, god damn it. So, Edge goes nuts and starts, he does a concerto to Daniel. And he's about to do it to Roman, and Jey Uso comes out, which I'm just like, so how fast can Jey Uso heal? Apparently, because he'll get taken out and he'll just come back and just start beating the fuck out of people. Like, the guy could be set on fire and he'll just come back and start fighting people.
Oh, don't give him any ideas because they'll probably have him as the next Fiend.
Oh, God, I hope not. But he comes back, and then, Edge spears him, and then starts hitting with a chair. Roman spears Edge, and then does a concerto to Edge. He throws Edge onto Daniel and pins both guys, which, I mean, technically, wouldn't Edge be the one getting the pin?
Yeah. I kind of was like, why is he putting Edge on top of... I was like, never mind. It's like, never mind. I was like, why is he doing that? But I was like, listen, it's wrestling. Sometimes you gotta put your brain on the table and just watch the damn show sometimes. But yeah, that was like, I mean, one thing, if he would have just laid Bryan and Edge just next to each other and then pin both of them or whatever, like that would have been a better, just logically, for logic's sake. But they just wanted to put over Roman Reigns big. Like they wanted him to go over big, and he did. And this match I enjoyed. This is the best match I'm sorry to say, the match of the night, because we were all anticipating this, and we all said that this is the match that Roman cannot lose. He needs to go over. He needs to hold on to this title for as long as he can, because if you're going to have him be the tribal chief, you gotta have him win. You gotta put him over in a big way. And I'm sorry to say, Edge, Edge is awesome. Daniel Bryan is awesome too, but you need to build a Roman so that way when whoever they decide to, take the belt off of Roman, they will become a star. I'm sorry, Daniel Bryan, I don't know if he's going to have, I don't know how long he's going to be in the company. Edge, I'm just sorry to say he cannot be the champion and put someone over. He cannot go like he used to. And again, that's why Daniel Bryan was added to the match, because he can still go. He has that motor, right? So they need to put over Roman big, so that way Roman can put over someone and make him to a star. But I enjoy this match thoroughly. Right, and
Roman going over was the right decision because, you hit the nail on the head. Daniel was the glue of the match, but Daniel was either gonna be the one getting pinned or not, but he wasn't gonna win. But he was in this as, I guess, half as a favor and half as, let's try to make this match a little bit better, and let's try to, hide, Edge and Roman's, weaknesses, and let's try to exuberate the strengths. Edge, again, I don't think there was any chance in hell they were going to give him that title, unless it was just going to be for one pay-per-view, and that's it. He can't be a full-timer. He can't go out. He can't, work a schedule like he used to. Roman is the guy now. Roman is the guy to work these, the house shows whenever we do get house shows, to work the live events, to work the pay-per-views. I wouldn't be surprised if he holds on to that title for a long time. And by a long time, I mean maybe until like after next year.
Yeah.
Next year's WrestleMania. Because I already announced that next year at Mania it's going to be in Dallas. And then the year after that it's supposed to be in LA. I mean, barring if, the world is still in shambles by then. Let's do the booking. Next year in Mania, you can have Roman and Big E as your main event. And the year after that, you can have Roman and The Rock as your main event. I mean, again, who exactly is Roman going to lose his title to?
Oh, not that many people. It's and that's the problem. You have to build these stars. Like when WWE has been relying on, the stars of yesteryear, this is what you're gonna have. You should immediately have people like ready to build up, or that's already built up to take the title from someone, and they don't, because pandemic aside, like we can use that excuse, but even so, even before the pandemic, there weren't really, like, besides
Hold up. Sorry about that. Someone forgot to mute their mic. What's up, Maurice? Anyways, go ahead. Ruben.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. I muted his mic. Go ahead.
Okay. Good. Yeah, I was gonna say, just the fact that no one has been like truly built up besides McIntyre. Then before that it was Brock that had the title, and then before that it was Seth. Forgetting a few people. Yeah, it was just the same few guys on top, the same handful of guys, and just the fact that now they're like, oh man, we gotta figure out who to be. Like, they probably have some in mind, but again, they haven't been building up stars as they should when they had the crowd, when they had the fans. And that's why now they're in the predicament, now they're in the pickle. And they got Cesaro. The only two I see are Big E and Cesaro. They just got to build up Cesaro. He should have been built up like 5 years ago, like even a decade ago. As soon as he came on, they should have like slow burned it. But of course, they just went with the usual suspects, and that's why now we're in that position. Oh man, we gotta like build stars. But just for Roman, just Biggie, Cesaro, and then The Rock, just for the storyline's sake. But it's just two people in a roster full of just. You have a full roster, and yet no one's over. That's saying something, right?
You're right. And also, I think another thing that could possibly come to play in the next few years is, this is just something I would personally do, is get rid of all these titles. If we're going to get rid of pay-per-views, get rid of the titles too. But what I mean by that is, let's not have two world champions. Instead, let's just have one world champion, and possibly it could just be Roman being the undisputed, world heavyweight champion. Or, let's just have the Intercontinental champion, because the U.S. title is a WCW thing. No one really gives a shit about that. Have one set of tag champions. Have one women's champion. I guess keep the women's tag team titles, whatever. The Cruiserweights have their own show and they're on NXT, so they're fine. Yep. Other than that, just make the title mean something, and as of right now, Roman is the only meaningful champion.
Right.
Him holding that title actually means something. And, pretty soon, they need to dissolve the draft. They need to dissolve, the brands, and just go back to having one champion and have the title actually mean something. And I guess another name that could come into play pretty soon is Cross.
Yeah, it's
Eventually,
another.
I don't know how long he's going to be in NXT. I don't know how long he's going to hold on to that title. I'm assuming it's going to be for a while, but he's ready. In my opinion, Cross is ready. Like, he, to me, is bigger than that show. And I'm not just saying that because I like Cross, but like, he is ready. Like, Vince McMahon has to be looking at him and going, okay, I need this guy. I need this guy on my show already.
Yeah.
And because he actually looks like a star. He looks like a star. He talks like a star. He dresses like a star. He is somebody that they are just ready to put in front of Roman. That they're ready to put in front of, Drew McIntyre or, Lashley. And, that could be another Mania main event is Cross and Roman. So, I really don't know. We don't know what the future holds. I mean, because for all we know, there's going to be some people we're not even thinking of. I mean, this is probably laughable, but I don't want to say laughable because I like him, but Adam Cole. You could possibly put Adam Cole in the main roster, but him against Roman would almost be not laughable, but it's just like Adam is so small, like he is thin, pretty much.
Yeah,
and I don't know. To me, Adam Cole, I think even if he were to put muscle on, he would still look thin. Like he would have kind of I don't want to compare him to this guy, but like an Austin Aries type of build.
Right.
And I mean, it would still be a good match, but it's just like, yeah, I don't think you want to put Adam Cole in front of Roman right now. And then there's a possibility of maybe putting Finn back on the main roster. So,
yeah, I can definitely see that.
The future is uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, next week, next month, or even next year. But all I know is Roman ain't dropping that title unless, knock on wood. I'm not saying I want this to happen, but knock on wood, his leukemia comes back. That's the only thing that's keeping Roman out of the main event picture.
Right.
That or injury, but Roman usually doesn't do stupid shit. So, and there's
he doesn't get injured much. Yeah, he doesn't get injured much, which is like crazy because a lot of our favorites to get injured and they put on the show for a long time, and the only thing that kept Roman out was his leukemia. That's just saying a lot.
Right, and they're also smart to not have Roman wrestle too much on the live television shows. Like, as a matter of fact, I don't even think he wrestles I don't even think he wrestles at all on the live television shows. They only really have him just go out and cut promos and just do spots. And other than that, they save him for the pay-per-views, which, in all actuality, that's smart. That's how you keep your stars healthy. I mean, that's what they did to Austin. You wouldn't even see Austin wrestle too much on Raw. You wouldn't see The Rock, wrestle a free match on live TV. You're going to pay money to see The Rock on pay-per-view, just like you're going to pay money to see Roman on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So they're smart to keep him booked that way, and I'm pretty sure that's how he wants it to be. Which again, smart on him. He's taking care of himself. Other than that, there's really nothing else I can really bring up. We pretty much covered everything we needed to cover.
Yep.
And was there anything else you wanted to bring up?
I know we harped on it before, like regarding the pay-per-views, but since you talked about like just unifying some of these titles, which they need to do, the tag team, there's no tag team division on the main roster. Just too many belts. I feel like the tag team division needs rehab, like extensive rehab first. And these shows, they got to do something about all these pay-per-views. They just need to have the big four. And for Mania, they need to have the Money in the Bank match. I feel like that match can, if they had a Money in the Bank ladder match on night 2, that could definitely, if that was like the opening match, that could have been something where you have 6-8 guys. I say between 6-8 guys, and you could have them you can just have them go out there and just get the crowd going. and they need to bring that back. They need to get rid of the Money in the Bank thing, like just not have it be its own show, because you just have two. Actually, no. Well, you have both titles. Well, for each men and women, but it's like they just need to put that on the show. I mean, one night you have the men's and the women's. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but having it be its own show, like, no, it's just too many gimmick stipulations, style pay-per-views, Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber, Extreme Rules, TLC. I think that's all of them. Just scrap them and just have them be like culmination, like, just that match that you put to culminate a feud, not to start it, not in the middle. Oh, you have this big stipulation match, and then the next match in the feud is going to be a regular match. It doesn't make any sense. And if they do that, a lot of these feuds will go better. They will like translate better. But yeah, that's pretty much it. They just got to do that. They got to clean house with the talent, with these titles, with these pay-per-views, streamline a lot of more things. Like, now that Mania is over, they can just start like doing these bus flips, not only with the talent, but with these shows, with the titles. Like, Jesus, like, they need extensive rehab, man.
Right. With the pay-per-views, in my opinion, keep 6, but spread them the fuck out. Like, obviously keep the big 4, keep, Mania, keep SummerSlam, keep, Royal Rumble and Survivor Series. As far as, like, other 2 pay-per-views, keep Extreme Rules, but on the context that every match has a stipulation, at least. And, I don't know, keep, like, a random bullshit pay-per-view, like, I don't know, Backlash, or not even Backlash, but No Mercy, No Way Out.
Yeah.
You can keep 6. That's all you need, is just really 6, but spread them out. That's the way to build up these pay-per-views, because one thing I'll give AEW credit for is they don't have a million pay-per-views. They have they have pay-per-views to spread out and like build up these feuds. Granted, they're not always the best, but they're at least booked. But yeah, I mean, they really do need to start cleaning house. And now that Mania is over, this is basically their like a reboot for them. This is like their new season, pretty much.
Yes.
So we're expecting a bus flip pretty soon. I don't know when it is, but it might be sometime either before the summer or after the summer, or during the summer, I mean.
Yeah.
And as far as the draft goes, wait until like the fall.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, it's just wishful thinking. We want this to happen, but it all depends on WWE allowing it to happen. So, I mean, we could easily just do a bus flip right now, but I don't know if there's time, because there's too many people on the roster. We can probably save something like that for... I'm debating if I should do a Tuesday show or an early Wednesday show. I don't know when, but I'll keep you posted on that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's our WrestleMania 37 Night 2 review. We pretty much both agreed that we thought Night 1 was a little bit better, and so I think we already said this, but like, what were your highlights and lowlights of Night 2?
Let's see. Well, the lowlights, we got to get just the lowlights out of the way. The Fiend match and the women's tag title match, that was a low light for me. Even though the match, it had there was some points in the match where I said, okay, that's pretty cool. But at the end of the day, the challenge, it was the wrong challengers challenging for those belts. It should have been Liv and Ruby Riott. The Fiend with Orton, just a shitty way to start a pay-per-view. But I agree, it is best to get those matches out of the way. Just, have those first 2 matches start. But yeah, those those two and the Big E match. I'll say the Raw Women's Title match. That was another low light for me. But the highlight for me was, of course, the main event. And ironic to say, Sheamus and Riddle. That was another like highlight because we know Sheamus can put on good matches, and Riddle is competent in the ring, but just his character, his gimmick is insufferable. But of course, that match was good, and then the blood at the end was like a good visual. And like I said, the main event, that was like the highlight for me. But yeah, this night just wasn't there overall. Night one was like better. I had a good time watching that. Just overall, like every match but the women's tag team turmoil match, I had just a good time watching, and I was thoroughly engaged.
Right, and I think we pretty much agree on the same things as lowlights. The first two matches, bleh. I mean,
yeah.
The Fiend and the Orton thing was just stupid, and the crowd thought it was stupid. So good on them for telling them how stupid it is. The women's tag team title match, I just didn't care. I didn't care for. I mean, I only cared about Shayna, but I didn't care about anyone else in the match. It shouldn't have been Natty and Tamina. It should have been the Riot Squad. The Apollo and Big E match, I thought was the worst match of the night, mainly because I was looking forward to it, but they just basically made it a weapons match, as Conan said on Twitter, and I thought these two really could have went out there and stole the show. And they just gave it so much little time, which I thought was unfortunate. Highlights, Sheamus and Riddle, it's just surprising they had the best match of the night. So that's just how I see it. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, I thought, had the second best match of the night. I wish there was more time. I wish they would at least given them maybe 4 or 5 minutes more to go out there and really tear the fucking house down. But I mean, they had to move the show along, I guess, but whatever.
Right.
Seeing Logan Paul get stunned and how well Logan sold the stunner, which was pretty good. I thought the triple threat match delivered.
Yes, it did.
I said before, triple threat matches, they can usually go really well, really really shitty. This one went really well, and it was probably one of the better triple threat matches I've seen in a while. So good on the men in it, and good on Daniel Bryan for really just being the glue of the match. Holding everything together, and Roman winning was the right decision. But overall, night one I think was better. I think had better energy. The crowd, they hadn't seen a wrestling show in a very long time, and the first wrestling show in a year is at Mania, and of course they're going to go ape shit, and of course the wrestlers are going to get energized by that. So, and also one of my lowlights was Rhea and Asuka. Just something wasn't clicking between those two, and I'd like to see at least another match with them to see if maybe it was just a shit night. So, but overall, how would you grade, if you had to grade both nights as a whole, how would you grade it?
Together, I would rate WrestleMania. I mean, if this was without any fans, I would just give it like a 6 or a 7. But since we have fans, and it helped, just overall, it just helped make the show bigger. Because it was WrestleMania at the end of the day. Like, you gotta have fans, you gotta have that crowd interaction. It helped a lot of these matches, especially in night one. But just in total, I just give it like a 7, 8. But night one, like separately, I will give night one the edge with like an 8, and then night two, I give it like a 6 or 7. But the main event saved it, though. Yeah, the main event saved night two, though. And Sheamus and Riddle and KO and Zayn. And another thing, you have Bailey and the Bella Twins, and Hogan and Titus. But that just put me off. I was like, you got Hogan come out again. And then you had Bailey come out. And I love Bailey. Like, she's been the MVP of this pandemic era. You bring out the fucking Bella Twins. Like, I was just, like, legitimately pissed.
I was too, because it's just like Bailey was the women's champion for over a year, and you don't even put her on Mania, and when you do, you have her fucking job out to the fucking Bella Twins, pretty much. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, that legit pissed me off, and that kind of lowered my grade on the pay-per-view. Like, because you gave it a 6. I was going to give it at least like a 6.5 or a 7, but I was just like, no, it's gonna stay a 6, probably partially because of that bullshit. Night 1, I would give 8.5. I'm going to give it an 8.5, like a B+, pretty much. And then Night 2, just partially because of, the energy wasn't really there, and the Fiend match kind of sullied the beginning of the show, and just jobbing Bailey out. Like, how could you not have anything for Bailey to do? Like, to me, that's almost criminal.
Yeah.
To not have anything for her to do. And then you have her job out to the Bella Twins, pretty much, which that just really pissed me off. So yeah, Night 2 I give a 6. I mean, the main event I thought saved the show. Other than that, just there were 3 good matches. Other than that, the show was not that good, or Night 2 was not that good. But I can't say I wasn't entertained, but yeah, Night 1 was just clearly better.
Of course, yeah.
So I've decided. So Wednesday, I think I'm just going to go early.
Okay. I have something on that day, so I'll have to definitely get back on you on that day. But I'll let you know, because we talk after the show. But yeah.
Right. Absolutely. But yeah, Wednesday, I think I'm just going to do an early show. Because I guess it's kind of shallow. I just don't want to cover AEW. So, but yeah, Wednesdays, it's going to stay at Wednesday, but it's just going to go a little early. Maybe around like 5, 6. Well, again, we'll talk about it. But, anyways, go ahead and plug yourself, dude.
For sure, man. What a ride. 2 nights of WrestleMania. We have a week full of wrestling, and I'm glad it's over. I had fun. It was just a bittersweet ride, but glad to, do these shows with you. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter, aka the cesspool of the internet. It's a double-edged sword with the internet, but that's where we connect, and just as fans can connect. And you can find me on there on Twitter at Ruben Prime _3. My website, RubenPrimeTV.com. You can find all my stuff regarding the podcast I do, the Ruben Prime podcast, and just all my other content. And I'm on Facebook. Ironically enough, you can check me out on Facebook at Ruben Prime Podcast as well. And yeah, I'm glad to be here. I do my podcast every week. I'm trying to find a day to record, and I think maybe Tuesday. I'm gonna try for Tuesday, if anything. But we'll definitely talk, and try to have you on as a guest. I'm welcoming all guests. Just make sure you're not a troll. Make sure you're not just trying to be a dick. But I welcome, like, I have an email you can follow me at. You can send me, just information, and we could definitely chat. And that's Ruben Prime Podcast at gmail.com. Or you can just DM me on Twitter. That's, if you don't prefer the email route, you just DM me directly. And, we can chat. We can, set something up. But yeah, thanks for having me, Drew.
Absolutely. And you're always welcome on here anytime, any place. But yeah, that's WrestleMania. The WrestleMania weekend is now in the books. And shouts to everybody. Shout out to Wrestling Soup, of course. I know they just had a show. Kevin Castle, Trez, Ruben, of course. Brother Monty, RJ, Breaking the Apocalypse with John Draper and B. O'Brien and Shaheen. I know they just did a show. Shaheen also does a show with our good buddy Jeff Littman, The Garden of Doom. And Jeff Littman also does a show called Hammerlock Hangover with Steve. So check them out. False Count Radio with Andrew Carlick. Wrestling Court with Julian and Rob. JD with her Russell Bread podcast. The Clark Street Wrestling podcast. Good dudes. Check them out. And Dementia Unusual with my friend Relly. If you're into serial killers and shit like that, check her out. She has a really good show. Texas Podcast Massacre. If you're a horror geek like me, you're gonna love this show. And just check everybody out. Everybody that has a podcast, check them out. They have everything you like. If you're into gardening, there's a podcast for gardening, I'm pretty sure. But like I mentioned back here, I'll be back on Wednesday, but at an earlier time. So yeah, make sure to check me out. I'll be here. I'll be on Spreaker, of course. And just find me anywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, same name, Drew Yard. But anyways, guys, take care. I hope you enjoyed Wrestlemania. And come on. And peace.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.